Hey there guys, so the past couple of weeks I have been going through like a Rocky and Creed marathon, considering I'm a big fan of that franchise and Rocky Balboa is one of my favourite characters in cinema. So I thought, why not do a rankings video? But next week I will be going back to my movie reviews since we've got more movies coming out now. But yeah, let's get started with number 8. At number 8 is Rocky 5. Even though this film is at last place, I still really like Rocky 5. Somewhere there is a great film. It has great ideas like Rocky who was unable to fight because of brain damage, his loss for his fame and fortune, his broken relationship with his son. And I'm a 90s kid and this came out back in 1990 and this is right up my alley. And the music pretty much says it all, and we go back to the roots of the first movie, which kind of works for the most part. But the themes of this film are explored way better in the later installments, and they really pandered down the character of Rocky, kind of making him more dumb and selfish, and I still don't understand how they lost all that money. And the street fight at the end is a hit and a miss. I give them credit because it is something different and it is fun to watch, but I would trade it for a boxing match in a heartbeat. And number 7 is Rocky 2. Now this is a funny one for me because this is just essentially a remake of the first movie, but they changed enough stuff to make it its own. But it does have better training montages and we do see different sides of characters. Like Rocky in the first half, he's much more happy because he has fame and fortune. And Apollo Creed, who's just kicking himself and not beating Rocky. Out of all the films, this probably has the most character development, which plays out in the later installments. Just watching Rocky, who is trying to star in these ads or trying to keep a regular job, is so sad because all he knows is the world of boxing and that's all he knows to survive. The reason why it's quite long on this because I think the others are a bit more standout. This is very close to the original. And number 6 is Rocky 4, probably one of the most outrageous 80s films ever. It isn't great quality, but out of all the Rocky films, this is probably the one I watched the most. This is easy entertainment to watch. And I love the fact that it's so bound to its time period. It's so cheesy and over the top, like Paulie getting a robot, Rocky versus Russia, Rocky set out on revenge. There's like 6 montages. There's like a James Brown song and dance that goes on for like 5 minutes. I believe that Rocky 4 ended the Cold War. I'm one of those very few people, so yeah. At number 5 is Rocky Balboa. Now this is just a great film all around. I mean, it really redeemed the franchise. I mean, objectively, this is the best pure Rocky sequel. This was Sylvester Stallone's comeback performance. But it really captured the heart of the tone of the first Rocky film. And due to the fact so much time has passed since Rocky 5, we see a different perspective of the character of Rocky, who is a restaurant owner. Adrian has passed away, he has issues with his son, and we see how much the world of boxing has changed since the 80s. And Mason Dixon is probably my favourite opponent because he's not really a bad guy. He doesn't hate Rocky, he's just tired of being the best and just wants a challenge. And number 4 is Creed 2. Now they found a way to be a direct sequel to Rocky 4, the cheesiest film in the franchise, and pull it off. Straight after the first movie, we all knew what we wanted, Drago versus Creed, but we didn't know how complex it was going to be. Because everybody in this has an arc, like Rocky, who's trying to reconnect with his family, Ivan Drago, who is kind of using his son for revenge, and this is Dolph Lundgren's best performance, by the way. Victor Drago, who wants to make his father proud but he wants to think on his own. Adonis Creed, who wants to live up to his father's legacy but he's trying to be there for his family. Creed 2 adds new layers to Rocky 4 and it really shows you that like different fighters need different training. And number 3 is Rocky 3. Now a lot of people just say it's the one with Mr. T, but to me I find Rocky 3 so complex. We time jump 3 years after Rocky 2 and we see what it's become, the superstar who's rich and famous. But Rocky 3 has a perfect blend of the drama of the first movie, but it has that bit of cheesiness from like Rocky 4 and 5. The fame and fortune really got to Rocky. He doesn't realise some of his last few fights were fixed, which led to his downfall, and he has to pick himself back up. Adrian really comes out of her shell. She's just one of the best speeches in the franchise, and Eye of the Tiger pretty much says it all. And number 2 is Creed. Now when I first heard they were going to do like a Creed movie, which is going to be like Apollo's bastard son and Rocky's training him, I wasn't really hyped up because I thought we were kind of done with the franchise. And we've seen kind of the student master before in like Rocky 5, which didn't go so well, but they pulled it off. I mean, they knocked out the park. Ryan Coogler directed the shit out of this. I mean, just It does have similar beats to the first Rocky film, but due to the fact it's in modern day and it's a different character, it feels so new and fresh. And Sylvester Stallone does another fantastic performance which led to an Oscar nomination. So at number 1 is always going to be the original classic Rocky. I mean, it's the best sports movie ever. This film is like nearly 45 years old and it still holds up. It's still relatable, still emotional. It's an underdog story about a boxer who has the opportunity to become the world champion, but it goes through themes of like finding love and self-confidence. And at the very end, when like Rocky doesn't win but he's crying out for Adrian and you have that score, it gets me every time. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Go like, share and subscribe. Let me know what are your favourite Rocky's films. If you can rank them all, comment down below. I'd like to see them. Go check out my Facebook, my Twitter and my Instagram page. You guys are awesome. I got your back.